that's amazing. Thank you for inviting me to speak at this occasion. I thought I would start out first talk a little bit of my career and its ups and downs, sideways, back and forth, and then talk a little bit of what I see in terms of the financial markets. And maybe in 5 years, once again, you can check to see if I was anywhere close with my thoughts. But obviously, I've been involved in the financial markets, specifically the investment management area, even more specifically, equities. And I think it goes way back to when I was in high school. I thought, what is the stock market? So I asked my dad, who had a few shares of different firms, and he took out the paper and showed me the listing in the New York Stock Exchange, and I went to work and did some homework, and I bought my first stock, ServiceMaster Industries, based in Downers Grove, Illinois. And I thought that was pretty cool. I didn't have to do much, and I started making a little bit of money with my, I think, 10 shares. It was in college that I really made a decision. I want to be involved in the equity markets. And I tell people who are going out and interviewing to be specific. When you're asked, why do you want to be in the cheeseburger business? Be specific. Why do you want to work in consulting? Be specific. And so I had specific reasons why I wanted to be involved in the equity market. I had a number of interests. One, obviously, were stocks themselves. I really liked looking at stocks. Number two, I was interested in economics. My undergraduate degree was in economics. 3, politics. 4, current events. And then 5, running a business. Why are some companies more successful than others? And I was able to articulate in going out and trying to find a job, these are areas of my interest. And what's unique about the equity markets is it's a blend of each area. Politics, current events, economics, running a business. And I think I forgot one. It's a blend of these 5 things. And not only is it a blend, but each day is a different day. Each day is a new day. You pick up the paper, any particular article, the newspaper can affect what goes on with the equity market that day. And what was even more appealing is that it's very quantifiable. You know exactly the status of your performance. I performed well, I didn't perform well. I was up against the S&P, I was up against the active competition. It wasn't because I was wearing a green tie and everyone else should have been wearing a blue tie. It had nothing to do with that. It was very objective performance, and performance drove the investment management business. So I was very specific why I wanted to get into this business, but I was also specific in what I wanted. I wanted someday to run my own investment management firm. Why? I don't know, but that's what I wanted to do someday. So after graduating from North Park University, I went out and I tried to find a job. And it wasn't easy. The environment was a little bit the same as it was today. I graduated in 1979, and if you recall from your history, there was a recession in 1979, 1980. So it was very difficult. And I started out working at Standard Oil Company here in Chicago, not in the investment business, but I wanted to get in the investment business. So I was sending my resume out to various firms. And I did what I told my son to do in looking for a job. Even though I was very specific with my goals and what I wanted to do, starting out, I wanted to be a grenade. I wanted to get close to do some damage. I didn't want to be a sniper. Even though I had very sniper goals, it wasn't appropriate in that environment, in my stage of my career, to be a sniper. I needed to be a grenade. So part of the grenade that I threw was to the Northern Trust, and the Northern Trust hired me. Yay, Northern Trust, because because they did it again a few years later, which we'll get into. But I started at the Northern Trust, and again, I was very specific when I started at the Northern Trust. I want to get into the investment management area. I got an interview with the investment management division. Great, here's my chance. Finally, I get an opportunity. Well, I didn't get the job. No surprise there. Oftentimes, you don't get the job. But after not getting the job, I said, this is ridiculous. I want that job. So I called the people up who made the decision and said, why didn't you hire me within the Northern Trust? Why didn't you? And I had lunch with 3 or 4 individuals. And I think maybe that helped a little bit, because when the second opportunity came up, they gave me the job without even interviewing. So I started out at the Northern Trust in the investment management area. In the Northern Trust, I was part of a group that managed portfolios for high net worth individuals. Part of the problem was, as a young person, I wasn't getting accounts, I thought, fast enough. So I went to some people, and without my bosses knowing, I said, I know you're busy, you're extremely pressed for time. How about if I start managing these portfolios for you? And clandestinely, I began to build a book of business without my boss even knowing. Then one day, under my performance review, I told my boss at the time, I said, well, I'm already managing 20 accounts, about $50 million, and there's nothing she could do about it. So, a lesson learned there, a second lesson there is very competitive, but with a smile on your face. And I think as students, as we're all students today, and we're all progressing in our careers, very important to be competitive, but I think also competitive with a smile on your face. In 1987, I was made head of equities at the Northern Trust. I had equity option at the time, trading, reporting to me. And I had worked with a fellow who then went on, at the Northern Trust, worked with a fellow who went on to the Continental Bank. He became head of the Continental Bank at the time, investment management area. He called me up and said, do you want to do an LBO of this business? Continental Bank needed to sell it because it was going down in 1990. So he and I bought the investment management business. So I left the Northern Trust and had my own firm for 6 years. It's still in existence today, Heartline Investment Corporation. We managed institutional portfolios, and I did that for 6 years. Again, our performance was pretty good, and I think it was good enough, and I had a reputation still intact at the Northern Trust. The Northern Trust came back to me and said, your successor really drove the business into the ground. Our performance is terrible. We need you back at the Northern Trust. So in 1996, I returned to the Northern Trust, this time director of equities at the Northern Trust. And when I got there, it was bad. There was no process.